Welcome to introduce the Power Platform Group to us. Tell us more about the group, what we stand for, and what is our prospects that we are looking at for the nearest future, our plans, our target audience, and all of those things. I'll discuss them with us. Okay. First of all, I've introduced myself to be Bengadem. I'm the community lead for this Power Platform user group. Just a little about me. My total year of work experience, 6 plus. As a trainer, 5 years plus, I'm a certified Power BI data analyst, and my hobbies are traveling, reading, and hiking. Right. I also have the Oyediran, who is also a community lead. He has some qualifications in predictive analytics, total year of work experience, also 6 years as a data professional, 2 years. He has certifications in project management professional, Scrum Master, Six Sigma Black Belt, and the rest. His hobbies are reading and traveling, right? So, what do we do here at the Winnipeg Power Platform User Group? We are a community of very dynamic people, different individuals coming from different sectors, different industries, coming from different domains, right? Coming from different domains. Um, and we are here together to collaborate, to share ideas, to learn from each other, you know, to update ourselves on the latest best practices. And if there's any innovative solutions that we can all share together and learn together and grow together as a community, right? That's the essence of this Power Platform user group, right? So the user group is for those that are whether you're a beginner, whether you are at intermediate level, right? Whether you're a beginner, whether you're an advanced user, whether you're an intermediate professional, everybody is welcome to this user group. There are some things that I know that you don't know. I will share with you. The ones that you know and I don't know, you will share with everyone. So that's the way we collaborate together as a community, right? Um, so what do we do? Why do we exist in the first place? So uh, this user group is part of the global platform user group, the platform community that we have. And one of the goals and objectives that we have is that we are here to support people in terms of their certification journey, right? By providing them the mentorship, and we also have learning groups. So recently we are doing a PL 300 preparation class, which we started like I think almost 3 weeks now, and we've been having various sections talking about Power BI, talking about the semantic model, and a whole lot of stuff, parameters, Power Query, anything that's going to prepare the data. And now we are moving on to the part of model the data. So we've been doing this now for almost 3 weeks now, preparing everyone interested in, acing their PL 300 exam, right? We also want to foster MCT development. And we want a situation whereby people in our community that are interested, it's not compulsory, but we are just encouraging everyone that if they could go through the what is called the instructional skill course and take and apply to become a Microsoft certified trainer, which will open doors of opportunities for them in several aspects based on their different area of expertise, right? Another thing is knowledge sharing and skill building. We are promoting regular workshop, just like what we are doing here today is part of our regular workshops, our bi-weekly sections, general sections, where we bring in different speakers from different domain and area of expertise to come and talk about a particular topic, and teach everyone so everybody can learn. We promote innovation within the Power Platform, right? So we want a community that people can explore so many innovative solutions that comes with Power Platform, right? They can explore it and also that will also help them to enhance their own daily productivity, whether their team or their organizational productivity, right? Also, we are a collaborative community. That means we support each other through mentoring, networking, career growth, and the rest. So that is why we exist. So I just got a notification now that our speaker is now around now. Our speaker is available now. So for the sake of those that are new here, let me just explain Power Platform to us in few seconds before I call on the speaker to continue. So Power Platform is a low-code, no-code tools from Microsoft designed to help users create, number one, custom applications, automate workflows and processes, and analyze data. So it involves four major components: the Power BI, which is for building reports and dashboard. We have the Power Apps, where we have the model-driven and the Canvas app for building applications. Uh, and we have Power Automate for automation of processes. And we have Power Pages now, which is a new one, right? It's a new member of the family for building external client-facing websites, right? There are other things that are embedded in Power Platform. When you talk of the Copilot Studio, Dataverse, connectors, and all of those other things that we are going to be exploring today through the speaker. Also, Dynamics 365 is also part of the Power Platform community. They all work hand in hand, and all of those other things that comes with it. Yeah, so that is Power Platform in a nutshell. So look at this picture here. You see an overview of what Power Platform is about, right? Power Apps, Automate, Copilot Studio, Power Pages, Power BI, and the other things that comes with it, like the data connectors, the AI builder, and the Dataverse. Now, let me introduce our speaker for today. His name is Oluwatobi Yusuf. He's very experienced. Um, he's a low-code advocate. Toby is a Microsoft most valuable professional. That's like one of the badges I can get from Microsoft if you are contributing to the community, sharing a lot of your expertise, right? So being an MVP comes with a lot of experience. You must have built a lot of solutions, and you must be really recognized by Microsoft, right? So it's a very great badge to have, right? He has an MBA from Nexford University. He's a community leader. He's one of the community leaders for the Power Addict group in Nigeria. Oluwatobi is also a Microsoft certified trainer, right? Which we also encourage people here to come to also join the M3 program, right? And he's also a Microsoft certified solution architect. Toby is a team lead for business praise engineering at AXA Mazda, one of the biggest insurance companies in Nigeria. So, Toby, are you there? Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, I can hear you. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We've been waiting for you for like forever.
Yeah, apologies. I was some things came up and my phone was down, and
No, no
but
problem.
everything is well now. Yeah,
Everybody has been
apologies.
waiting for you. No problem.
Yeah,
So you
apologies.
can
Yeah.
you can start now.
Okay, so I will take over the screen if you
Yes,
don't
let
mind.
me make sure
So I
I'll
would.
allow you to share screen. Can you try and share if
Okay, so let me know when you can see my screen. Yeah. So can you see my screen?
it's not okay? It's coming up. Yes, yeah, we can see your screen now.
Okay, I hope you can also see me as well. Good.
Let me check if I can see you. I can't see you. Can anybody see Toby? Okay, I can see you now. I can see you now.
Okay, sorry, just a minute. Okay. Uh, okay, thank you very much, Chicks. Chicks. So good evening, everyone. And I'm really sorry for joining late. There's some things came up, and but I really thank God I'm able to be here today. I really apologize. I'd have notified ahead of time, but I had some issues with my phone as well. Okay, so please, can we see my screen? If you can see my screen, I want us to just drop on the chat a yes or a no. Should we be scared of AI? Right? It's no news, right? It's no new thing that you do hear that AI is the new thing. AI has come to change things. AI have come to take changes. So I'm seeing a lot of yes. All right, all right. So should we be scared of AI? Okay, I'm saying a yes. And is everybody having the perspective of yes? I should be scared of AI. Nobody do they know.
Please let's answer, please.
I'm seeing some. Okay, yeah. Ola said no. All right. Okay, so I think I have somebody else. All right. So let me just go to the next thing. I'm not scared of here. All right. So let me just go to the next question. I call it the big question, right? And this is a self-reflective question. Meaning it's something I want you to think about. The truth is AI is here to stay, right? And whether we like it or not, some jobs will go into extinction. I do tell people some years ago, especially those maybe that are in Nigeria or even around the world, there was a time we make use of what we call a post office. So if I want to send a mail, right, I write it in a letter, I envelope it, then I send it via a post office. I'm sure anybody can send mail right now from the comfort of your home, from your bed. You just wake up one day, carry your phone, go to Gmail, write a mail, and the mail is over to the other person. But right now, if somebody is telling you that, oh, I have a big dream. My big dream is to open about 7 postal office. I'm sure you know that that's not relevant, right? You're like, oh, are you thinking right? And that's just how the world has evolved. Right? That's how the world has evolved. So ask yourself, how do I remain relevant despite the present wave of digital transformation? That includes AI inclusive, right? And okay, okay, so that's why today I'll be talking about how you get started with Power Platform. I'll be focusing on Canvas app for today, but I'll touch things like SharePoint and data sources, right? But it's more like a fundamental class. But I'm going to touch a lot of aspects outside just Canvas app, and this to let you know that whether you're an expert, you're a beginner, you're intermediate, you definitely we have one or two things to pick up from this section, right? Okay, so I would know. All right, I think I've done a lot in my introduction. Yeah. So I think the only thing I'll just talk about to this place is I lead a team. Is I call it a small tech team, right? In AXA Mansard. And AXA Mansard is part of the group called AXA. And AXA happens to be one of the biggest insurance companies in the world. You can check that. That's just the plain truth. AXA is one of the biggest companies in the world, right? And I lead a small team in AXA Mansard, that's the entity in Nigeria, and it's the process engineering. And what we do is, sorry, okay, sorry. So what we do at AXA, what my team does, right? You might be wondering, business process engineering, that's not Power Platform. What's Toby doing there, right? So what we do is we look at insurance, we look at the business. This AXA, what do AXA do on a day-to-day? And how do we make it better? How do we serve our customers better? How do we make the process more efficient? How do we make staff more productive? And that could be solved in different ways. Sometimes it can be an application that can solve that. And we leverage Canvas or Power Apps. It can be an automation. We leverage Power Automate. It can be a dashboard. That's Power BI. It can be a chatbot. That's Power Virtual Agent formerly, but it's now called Copilot. And it can be Power Pages. Right? That's Microsoft, so like a website, a local website, right? Depending on the use cases. So my point is, we just look around the processes and try to solve it. And sometimes it can be as simple as a macro in an Excel sheet, right? So we look at the processes and we re-engineer the process. And a lot of times, Power Platform has really helped us in solving this problem. And this to let you know that with the knowledge you're going to get here today, you're not just limited to the Power Platform, right? Yes, you're using Power Platform. My point is, sometimes the role might not be Power Platform. It might be process engineering. It can be business intelligence or developer. It can be Power Platform developer, definitely. It can be process automation, right? So at times you might be checking LinkedIn and you're streamlining what you're searching to just Power Platform role, Power Platform role. Meanwhile, in a complaint, the people that use Power Platform are the process automation team, right? So there are different rules that Power Platform can be applied to. It's not just Power Platform. So my lesson from you for you and to you from this slide is when you're checking out for roles, with the knowledge you're getting here, don't just check for Power Platform roles. Check for roles that are even outside like they might not be a Power Platform, but what they do there is Power Platform. So roles like process automation. I've worked in an organization where the Power Platform team is called process automation team. right? The present organization I work in, yes, we use our platform, but we're not limited to, but it's called process engineering. I've been in another place, it's called um, business process, business process automation and all of that. So my point is, please don't streamline your search to power platform. You're looking for a power platform role. All right. So that's just me. Okay, and I would like to give a big shout out to Benga, Mr. Benga. I call him Mr. Benga. Please, if your hands is not too busy, you can use the emoji and just do a tapping emoji, please, to the organizers. As he mentioned a lot of them, I joined the meeting, I think, about 15 minutes. That's about, yeah, at 9:15 or so.
Yeah,
So so please, a kudos to him and the team. I see them doing a big and amazing job, and this is nice. Well done to the
thank you,
team.
thank you.
Okay, all right. So let's just dive on out full of this part. I know the last speaker that came in the last section spoke about Power Platform, what it entails, and I saw Mr. Benga did a brief introduction to Power Platform and what it entails. So I won't waste our time and start talking through all of this. But one thing I would just want to mention is, if you are not in that section, please, I'm sure it's recorded. This section, I think, is also recorded and it's going to be streamed on LinkedIn and YouTube and all of the rest. So please and please, check out the YouTube channel for the last section and we can build on from there. But like I said in my previous or when I started this section, things have changed. The world has changed. Right now, there's a time that it was, like I said, there's in poster office. These are the times there were a lot of invention and all of that. And the world has moved to, the innovation states. And right now, AI is the order of the day, whether we like it or not. And one thing that is conversant with this new world we have found ourselves, right, is innovation. People want things fast. If an organization comes to meet you, say they come to meet Adedamola, I want an application. The application that comes to meet you is not because they need it in the future. It is because there is a problem that exists and that application is going to solve that problem. So they actually need that application or that solution like yesterday, right? They actually need that application like yesterday. So they're just realizing and they're coming to meet you for the solution. And this now takes you to low code solution, power platform. Companies are looking for what can solve our problem well, right, and fast. Well, right, and fast. That's what companies are looking for, right? So we are not saying we are sending off the IT guys. No. What we are saying is we are offering you a far better way to build applications, your solutions. We are going to be building something on the core. Yeah, not going to be very sophisticated, but we'll be building something on the core with Canvas app. And definitely we'll be working together to build that, right? And they're going to see how fast we're going to be able to build this solution. Now imagine how much more when you take this to your organization and you're building, company related solutions for them, and that solves their problem. And the good thing is solves it well. It's as long as you develop it in the right way, you're solving the right problem, and it's fast. You don't have to start waiting months. I remember working with somebody a couple of months ago, and she was talking about, oh, she needed to build an application and she went to meet the IT team, and the IT team were telling her, oh, it's going to take 4 months. The truth is that the IT team are actually being overwhelmed with a lot of work and a lot of things to do, and start building application from scratch is going to take a bit of time, right? That's why we have things like the Power Apps, Canvas app, modern driven app that would allow you just jump in there and build something as quick as possible and solve that problem, right? You solve that business problem and you add value to the business. And one good thing is you don't even need to pay extra money. Right? You don't need to pay extra money. Okay, so I think I've spoken a lot around the Power Platform. I'll just stop sharing the screen and I'll share the screen for the development. Yeah. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. Okay, so I believe you're seeing my screen right now. I'm sorry, Mr. Benga, you can confirm. All right. So I hope you're seeing my screen. So for a lot of us that maybe work in an organization and they're like, oh, Toby, how do I even access this? Right. I work in an organization. Mr. Benga actually made me know that a lot of us are also part of the Powerhouse program. That means you have a developer account and things like that. So what you just need to do when you get to your office on Monday, that's next tomorrow in my country, all right, or wherever you are, just go to your browser and type office.com, type office.com, right? So once you type office.com, it takes you to the whole interface of the Microsoft Office 365. The next thing you do is to click on these apps. Click on these apps, right? Click on the apps. Okay. Please, if you have questions and do well to, you can raise your hand, drop it on the chat, or yeah, you can just let me know so that I would give you an audience to ask your question. All right. So when you go to office.com, you click on these apps, it takes you to this interface, then click on all apps. Now, what you're seeing here is what you have access to. But a lot of you might not know, right? You have access to all of the solution here, but you just might not know yet, right? So for a lot of us, I know we work with, what is it? Word. I know a lot of us work with Word. I know a lot of us work with PowerPoint. I know a lot of us work with Excel. And that's all you use your office license to do. Meanwhile, there are two amazing, not two, there are a lot of amazing things there. Right? There's Power Apps and there's Power Automate. Right? These are two amazing things that can do a lot of things for you. But a lot of you don't just know that it's here. Right? So when you get to office on Monday, office.com, you go to the app and you can then play around this. Right. So for our section, it's just to introduce you to the Canvas app. I definitely can't take you through everything about Canvas app in this section, but I'll just show you how a couple of things, work in Canvas app, right? How a couple of things work in Canvas app. All right. So yeah, first things first. When you want to build an application, right? I give this scenario a lot. Okay, Ola, I see you on the.
Yeah, thank you, Toby. So, basically, you said when we get to the office on Monday, we should. There might be some of us that are not working right now.
Okay. All
So
right.
I'm wondering how they can access that because I know of a fact that maybe in the last 2 months or 3 months, that Microsoft is no longer assigning developer accounts for free anymore. They've stopped it. I don't know if they've now resumed it right now, but I know of a fact that they've stopped it for a while. So for some of us, or for those that are working, I'm working, so I
Understand.
already use all of this. I'm just like pleading for some of us that are not working.
All
So
right.
how do we access this?
Okay. So thank you very much for the question. Developer accounts would have been the best way, right, that I've directed you to use. However, myself and Sabinka, we did have a discussion around that, and we are still discussing, right? So we are looking at how we can also create, for developer account for those that already have, right? Some already have. For those that already have, you can create up to 24 user. That's minus yourself. So it's 25 user in all. So that means if say Mr. Gbenga has a developer account and one of his community members need to access this, he can create an account for the person and give the person the sign in, the logon. So the person log in, change the password, and he can be using the account and have access to that. So for those that might not be working and want to leverage this, please, I think you do well to reach out to Mr. Gbenga after this section. Like I said, it's something we did talk about. So it's something that we did talk about. So we considered you guys as well. So apologies I didn't mention that. So just go to reach out to Mr. Gbenga. Right. So I hope I'm going to address that question. Just go to
Sure.
reach out
Thank
to
you.
him after. Yeah. Okay. So thank you for that question. Thank you. I missed that out. All right. So I was going to give a scenario, right, to building a very simple application. So I thought, oh, what could we build? A couple of things came to my mind that I've done in the past. We wanted something more realistic or something more applicable to workplace, and also that would not be too complex. And this to let you know that there are two things, right? You build and you learn on the Power Platform. So meaning beginner is different from an intermediate and it's different from an expert, right? So an expert definitely has learned it to a certain extent. So meaning because it's a low code does not mean you will just be it's just something that you just someone just click, it works and that's oh you can sit down. No. What we are telling you is that it is not as technical, it's not hard. If you're ready to learn, if you're ready to dedicate yourself to this, it's easy as long as you're disciplined to learn it. But you can grow, right? So meaning low code application can move from very basic and simple application to a very sophisticated application to a complex one. So you can like on the corner, we're going to build a very a simple one, quite a simple one. So you can take that from just that level to higher levels, right? To extra levels. So when you talk about application, those a basic thing when it comes to application, let's use I think a lot of us might know um, Amazon. Now, you might have Amazon app on your phone. Let me take myself for example. I have Amazon app on my phone and I log into my account, Oluwatobi Yusuf at whatever gmail.com or yahoo.com with my password. And I log in and I go into my Amazon you know, account on my phone. That's my Amazon app. And I order for maybe two things, maybe a pair of sneakers and joggers, a pair of sneakers and joggers. And I log out, like I signed out of my account. And I'll give that same phone to Mr. Benga. Mr. Benga takes this my phone, log into his own Amazon account, and he has not ordered anything. He's using my phone. Oh. When he opens the Amazon account, he is not going to find what I ordered, right? Meaning it is his own account that is looking. What does that tell you? First, it tells you that those information are stored. Meaning, Oluwatobi log into his Amazon account and ordered for two things. It is stored somewhere. When Mr. Gbenga come and log into his account, it is not showing him what was. He's using the same phone, but it's different account. So it's not showing him what was in Toby's account. It's showing him what is in the account. You've not ordered anything, Mr. Gbenga, so you can order right now, right? So meaning those information, if I collect my phone back and I log in my name, my what I ordered for is going to show. The same thing with Gmail app and the other ordering app. But I'm going somewhere. It shows that what those information, my what I ordered for, those pair of sneakers is stored somewhere. That's one. Two, that information is not on that phone. Why? Because if I go to Mr. Benga's phone and I type in my username and password on my Amazon account and I log in on Mr. Benga's phone, I will still see the joggers and sneakers I ordered on my account on Mr. Benga's phone. Meanwhile, I did it on my phone. That shows you that that information is not on those devices. That information is somewhere, but not on those devices. What happens is you put in your username, you put in your password, there is a check. There's a check. Oh, it goes to check somewhere, cloud, wherever it is, server, all of that. It goes to check somewhere that, oh, Toby Yusuf is trying to sign into his account. Does he have anything in his account? Oh, yes, he has a pair of sneakers and joggers. So once I sign in, every information on my account is loaded into that app. Then I see it. When I sign out, Mr. Gbenga comes on my same phone to sign in. He goes and check. Oh, these credentials and password, is it correct? Yes. Does he have anything ordered in the name? Was there any information there? Did he order for anything? No. When he logged, Mr. Gbenga logged to his phone, he's not seeing anything that he ordered. Two things. Information is being stored somewhere. That takes you to data source. When you're building an application, always have the mindset of this app, where is this data being stored? Where do I store it? And I think we're having an amazing speaker in the person of Adiola coming up to talk about dataverse, I think in the next section and all of that. That's amazing, right? Data source is just one type of data source. Is SQL, MySQL, SQL Server, the different kind of data sources, right? Some people use SharePoint. In our case for today, we're going to use SharePoint, and I would mention why in a bit why we're using SharePoint. So there are different kind of data sources you're using. So your app should have an information or should have somewhere the information is going to be stored, right? So first thing first, where is the information being stored? You need the database, the information, everything that is being written to the app is stored somewhere. Like I said, those informations you're putting in that your app is not stored on that app on that phone. It is stored somewhere, not on that phone. That's why if if I log into my account in 10 phones, on my Amazon account in 10 phones, I'll still see that pair of sneakers and joggers. Not because just because it is not stored on the app on that phone. It's stored somewhere. And the account is just going to is a check and it's going to retrieve it from somewhere, right? And show me on each of those 10 phones. So we are going to have a data source. That's one thing. Secondly, your app is more like that interface that help you interact. So meaning you're putting in, you want to order for you know, sneakers and joggers. I come to the app and I ordered for the sneakers, I ordered for the joggers. Like I said, it goes to what a data source. What you're interacting with is what the app. So your app is that interface, right? It shows you that oh, this is what you want to do, this is what you want to take. When you order for it, all of those informations are being sent to what data source. So today we're going to be having a data source. We're going to have an app of interfacing with that data source, right? So your app, what does it do? The app can help you write information into that data source. That's why when you order for a product, you order for a joggers, maybe joggers and sneakers. What you are doing is you are telling the app what to do. You are writing, you are putting information into the app, right? Another thing you can do is you can read information. It's called the short form for that is called CRUD. 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 You can yeah, create. Yeah, create. Yeah, create. So it stands for create, read. I know this will delete. Please forgive me. I'm trying to remember. What the is it you? I think it's you. I don't remember what the you does. But I think if I remember, I'll mention it. If anybody can help me with that, please, I would appreciate. But what your application basically do is that informations that you want to send to database, the pair of shoes, the sneakers, when you order for them, you know, you're writing information, you're sending it to your database, right? That information you're typing in is sending somewhere. Another thing you can do with an app is that you can read information that is any information that is in your data source. Oh, I've ordered for two pairs of sneakers and joggers before. When I go to my app, I can check, I can go to my cart and see it. They call that reading. Then I can delete, I can remove some things from my cart, right? So you're going to do something similar, right? So we're going to have I think let's look at a simple employee list, like a staff list. We're going to have a simple staff list. Yeah, we're going to have a simple staff list where we can write information and I'll see if we can also cover the part of delete. I don't take too much of our time. Okay, so like I said, we're using SharePoint and I'll go to SharePoint. So SharePoint is one of the things that is inside your Office 365 as well, where you have your Word, your Excel, you have Power Apps, you have Power Automate, you have SharePoint as well. So SharePoint is also can like a data source, right? And also a document library. So I'll click on SharePoint. I don't know if there's a section that they've taken to teach you guys on SharePoint, right? I don't know if there's a section they've taken to check on SharePoint, but
We are
I'll
planning on
just
taking SharePoint very soon.
all right. Thank you
Yes.
very much for that. Okay, so I'll just show you how to just create a list and we'll go on from there. So whoever come will take you on in details how to work around SharePoint. When you go to your SharePoint, by default, I know there's always a site. I think it's called the communication site, right? So there's always a site when you go to SharePoint. So when you go to your SharePoint, there's a site. The site is more like your environment, your streets, right? And I want to create a building, right? I want to take a land. I want to cut out my land. So look at it more like your street, and your street, you have different lands, right? So I'm creating a site. The site is more like the whole of that land, that my street. Then my data source will just be, oh, I want to cut this part and like, oh, this is my data source for this application. This is my other data source for another application. This is my data source for this application. And the good thing is that I can interconnect each of them, right? I can interconnect each of them. So just look at it that way. Your site is more like a land. Your data sources are like, each plot of land. Sorry, your site is like an area, like the whole land, the whole street. Then your data source, the what we're creating is just like a portion of those lands. Okay, so without wasting time, I'll just pick one of these that I've created. Right, so like I said, by default, there's a site for you guys, communication site. So I'll just show you how to navigate. So once you open your communication site, you click on new and you click on list. So we're going to be using a SharePoint list as a data source. and I'll be creating from blank so that you'd get to understand. And the good thing is that I can even create from templates, right? So these are templates. Power of creating from blank is just to show you how it works, how it looks like, the feel, right? The feel. Sorry. Yeah, voila.
Yeah, I wanted
Yeah,
to ask about
thank
the
you.
difference between a list and a SharePoint site and an online, I mean, SharePoint online list or something. There's always a confusion around all those things, especially when you are
Oh,
getting data into your Power BI. There's a kind of confusion that goes on within it if you're not careful.
okay.
Can that be explained more in much better perspective? Thank you.
Yeah, I'll show you more. Thank you for the person. That's Ola. Yeah, thank you very much, Ola. And he has helped me drop it. So use updates. I don't know why I keep forgetting that thing. Yeah, use updates, meaning I want to edit. Oh, I ordered for one pair of sneakers, I want to order for two, I want to order for three for my Gmail app. So updates, you is updates. Yeah, thank you. I think that's all right. So yeah, create trade. So I've explained that basically put information inside your database. That's great. That's you hear create a lot if you are working with these tech guys, right? So it's very simple. Don't be fascinated. Create means I want to write information to my data source. I want to send information on my app. I want the information to enter my data source. R read means the information on my data source. Oh, I want to be able to see it on my app. Then you update. Oh, I've I've sent something to my data source, but maybe it's not correct. I want to update it. Oh, for example, the staff now, her name is Ayodele Yusuf. Sorry, Adeola Yusuf, and she got married to maybe let me use our host, Mr. Gbenga. Now I want to change it from Adeola Yusuf to Adeola Gbenga because she has changed her name. So for those that are not Nigerian, please, if you're in Nigeria, is our tradition to change your surname as a married woman, your husband's surname. How that makes sense? All right. So you want to change the name. So when that happens, a lot of times the woman would need to do a change of name. So you want to update the staff list, right, and change the name. So that's update. I want to edit an information. I want to update the information. Then delete. I want to delete. Okay, I think that's clear. Now to last question, which is site list and all of that. Now let me just let me take it to. I don't want to go too in depth, right? I'll just try and explain it. So now this is my site. Let me just go back. My SharePoint short. So yeah, this is my SharePoint. Yeah. So this is my SharePoint. These are sites, right? These are sites, right? So like I said, by default, there's always a communication site that you guys will have, so you can work with that. So these are sites, and then why do you have sites? It depends. There are a lot of reasons you would have sites. A lot of times it's because of team for teamwork, right? So for example, let me give a more corporate example, something that applies in the work field or work area. If you work in an industry, right? Let me even give engineering industry. In short, not engineering, any kind of industry. There's always an HR team, right? There's an HR team. There is in oil and gas, there's engineering team. There is finance. There is finance, HR, marketing. Yes, there's marketing. Now, a lot of times, so let me use ourselves as example. Okay. So I'm using a lot of us as example to explain. So myself, Mr. Charles, Mr. Ola, and Mr. Gabriel, we are in marketing team, right? We need to do some things together. We need to do some work together. Then let me take Adeola, Adewale, and Mr. Adeola, sorry, Mrs. Adeola, Mr. Adewale, and Mr. Ahmed. Three of you are in say, HR. Now, marketing is a different team. HR is a different team. Now, because we're in different teams, we need to do some things together, collaborate, for example, right? I need to work on some documents that Mr. Benga is supposed to see or Mr. Charles is supposed to see, right? That's why you need a site. A site, like I said, is more like a street, right? Like I said, a street, a whole street. That's like a site is. So I have a whole site. So the HR has a whole site, right, to themselves. So one of these sites here can be HR, an industry. One can be marketing. What that allows is anybody, as long as you are in HR, you can use it, you can access it. If this is marketing, anybody in marketing can access this. But somebody in HR cannot access marketing except you share it with marketing, right? And somebody in marketing cannot access HR except that is now shared with HR, right? So that's why we have different sites. Now, and outside inside the sites is now where you now have lists. So let me go to one site, for example. This is a site, and let me open the site in terms of this site content. Site content is basically all the content inside our site. So now in this my site, you can see what these are document library. So a lot of times, that's why a lot of industries use SharePoint. You can store documents, or you can store documents, or you can store informations lists, right? You can share informations, or you can store documents. So now these are lists, right? These are document libraries. Document libraries are more like document files. I want to work together with the team members. So I drop them here. Any of them can access it and use it. Right? And any of them can update it and leave it here. And when I come back, I see what they've updated. Now, lists, on the other hand, you can see it here, like this list. So this is an approval list, this is a building tracker list, this is a change request management list. So these are, like I said, more like data sources, right? Maybe to an application, to an automation or something. But it's more like your data source for storing structured information. So you can see this more like your SQL database. You can see it more like your database. You can see it more like your Excel. All those things you store on Excel, all those tables. Yeah, those tables you store on Excel. That's what list is like. Right? All those files, those pictures, those documents, right? You store them on the document library. Right? So that's what list does. And in each site, you have your own list. As I said, list is just a portion. So this now is taking a portion of my site. This is another taking another portion. What we are going to build today now will take a portion of our site, right? So the list is those data sources, that table, a table is structured, a data source that taking structured information in form of table, right? Right, document library takes in files, right? So that's what list does. Oh, that's clear. All right, so I just want to go back and keep this simple. This is the home page, right? On the home page, just click on new and click on list. So the good thing with Microsoft is that they always have templates. Templates are existing things that people use a lot. A lot of times, a lot of organizations have issue tracker. Oh, there's an issue, you need to resolve an issue, maybe for a customer, issue tracker. Employee onboarding, yeah. Employee are being employed. When they employ them, they onboard them. So we are going to do something similar to this onboarding. So you can see in terms of the work, description of the work, completed by mentor. So we'll just create something random for ourselves, right? It doesn't have something complex, just something very simple. So I was thinking of doing something like a staff list, not just onboarding. Right. So I'll click on new and I'll click on list. I'll click on blank. Now, it's possible that your team already have that information on Excel. But you now want to change it that Excel is not efficient enough. A lot of times, if Mr. Gbenga is working on something, Toby will need to work on that same thing. Mr. Gbenga will now share that file with Toby. Toby will update it and share that file back with Mr. Gbenga. Mr. Gbenga will now work on it and exchange it back. Oh, why don't you make an application, instead, or do something more better on this? So that information can be on Excel. You can always bring it in to SharePoint from Excel, right? As well as SQL. I'm sorry, CSV. So I'll just create something from blank. Blank is nothing has been done before. We want to create from blank. So I'll call this employees, okay? What can I? Okay, so I want to call it staff, like a staff list. 001. Permit me to use that just so that in case I have something similar to that, good to identify. And I'll create. Okay. right? So that's gonna have to create it for me, right? So I'm gonna have to create the app for me. Then my staff list, what should I have? It will be very simple, basic. My goal here is to let you see how it can work, the fundamentals, and you can always build from there. And we also have classes to build on what we've learned also. So always keep that in mind. So now when you build your data source, it shows you this interface. And like I said, it's like a table, like your Excel table, your SQL, right? So this is the column heading, right? The column heading. All the information we're going to be putting our data sources will be entering here one after the other, right? One row, then another row, then another row, then another row. Right? So we need to put the headers for each of them. So for example, this, I'm going to edit this, what should I call it? Okay, I want to edit this. So I'll go to columns and I'll rename it. I don't want it to be title. I want it to be like maybe the staff name, or let me call it the staff first name. Yeah, the staff first name. I actually just call it first name instead of staff first name. That just came to mind. Sorry, let me just call it first name. The staff list, so I don't need to call it staff first name. Let me just call it first name. Right. So I'll also capture the last name. Yeah. Now this not equals to when I click on add columns. This is very simple. When you look at all of this information, it's just the information you're trying to store, right? Is it text? Is it choice? Like choice is like, is it a male or female? That kind of thing. Gender. Is it date and time? Right? Is it date and time? Multi-line means the information I want to capture, is it like a description? Is it very plenty? Right? And person column is the person is in within my team. Number is obvious or number. Then yes or no question. Right. So looking at all of these options, right, what we want to capture is something just simple. It's a text. I want to collect the name. Right. It's an information. So text is like an information. Just person to type in the information. That's what text is. So it's text I want to capture. And what I want to capture is the last name. I want to capture the last name. Okay, so I've captured first name, I've captured last name. In a staff list, what else? Yeah, I want to capture the team the person is working in that department. So let me click on add column again. Now you have an option. I can allow the person type in the department, or instead, I know the department in the organization, and I can allow the person choose from the department in the organization, right? Which is always a better option, right? If you give the person the avenue to type, someone can type HR, someone can come and type human resource. So when you're now building a dashboard to now be looking at it, to look at the data list, now be like, somebody is in HR or somebody is in human resource, is separating it. It's always a nice idea to have a choice column, right? For things like departments. Please, if I'm going too fast, let me know. If you get confused on the way, let me know so I can always retract. Okay, right. So I'm going to department, and I'll just keep it simple. So I just have HR, then I'll have finance, and let me have marketing. I think those are always basic. These are popular ones. And let's save this. And you can always add more columns, more choices, and you can always delete them. Right. Let me just keep that. Okay, so I've gotten the name, first name, last name, department. Yes, I want to know the person is a male or female. Right. So let me click on add column. That's also a choice. All right, choice. Gender. I'll keep this male or male. And I'll remove this. And I'll just save. That's it, save. So you don't need to do any of these extract things. You add information, yeah, you're free to, but it's not necessary. Not necessary. Okay, so like I said, this is basic, right? We're keeping it simple. All right, so please complete. What does I need for staff list? Department, gender. Okay, I think I have some things on the chat. Okay, how I've captured the basic information that you need from a new staff. I think I have. I think I have basic information. Um,
I don't know if you want to add their grade or something.
Thank you very much
Or
for
maybe
that.
staff
Yeah.
number.
Yeah. So each staff have the staff number. So yeah. So let me add that. So, yeah, staff number most times you don't know it, so it's something identical. So let me click on text and call this the staff. The staff, I think it's called ID, right? Staff ID or staff number. It depends on your company, sure. Then grade, yeah. Let me just add the grade. I think I'll just keep it like that at that. So next, and then I want to search and so I want to put what grade. Grade. So depending on the level, sure, on the company. I know there's grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, grade 12, grade 13. Just keep it at that. All right, I'll save. Let me just leave it at that. So now we have data sources. So one thing I do a lot of times is so that I can show you how it looks like, right? I'll go and impute information. So my data source, I'll just write some information into my data source directly like this. And how do I do that? I can come to what? This place, add new item. Okay, yeah. So let me just choose me myself. Full name. Wow. To be. So yeah, imagine I didn't even put my department here. All right, market. All right, mail. And let's assume the staff ID is okay, and I'm a grade maybe 9. Save this. That's one way to put information into this. So now this is what I want to show you exactly. So let me just go in and add that one so that you'd see how it looks like for the other one. So the next one, let me just put Esther in the finance department, female, and give her the staff ID of this and just grade like 10, right, and save. So now that's what I'm saying. You said the information is coming one after the other. So what it means is that now this is my data source, right? Nobody should be tampering here. Nobody should come here. Just the same way your bank operates as well, right? If you go to your application on your bank, right, your app on your bank, you will see the amount you have. If you make a transfer, the amount is debited. If you make a withdrawal, it's reduced. So it is that app you're using that is interfering or is communicating with your data source. Nobody's going to the data source to go and be changing it like what I'm doing. Right. So nobody should be accessing this. There should be an interface for people to interact with this. Right. If not, someone can just go to the back end and in his own line, he just gonna put in his account he have 1 million naira or 1 trillion naira. Meanwhile, he don't have any money. Right. So nobody interface directly with the data source except definitely developers. So in a structured environment, nobody interface with this. Right? So this information that we're having here should not be entered like this. It should be an application sending it here. And that's why we're going to build what the staff, like an application for the staff, yeah, something like that. So we've done our data source. Now we're going back to that app, office.com. Remember, then we are going to what Power Apps. Now there's a way to build directly, very simple, right? You can just build directly from the app, right? You can just build directly. But for the sake of our class, I would just take us through building from scratch just to show you some fundamental things. All right, so I want to build, right? So I'll go to what create. So this is Canvas app. Sorry, this is Power Apps. When you click on Power Apps, it takes you to this interface. So this is the home page. It contains everything, some of everything. Your create means you want to create app. And like I said, you can connect to different data sources. You're going to be using SharePoint. You can connect to Excel, you can connect to SQL, you can connect to database. Right now, these AI features, you can build from image, you can build from Figma, right? So you can do a lot of things. The learn. So for people that are interested in getting started, you want to build yourself, whether I want to take it as a career or just want it as an additional skills to what you already do, you can come here and learn will just guide you. You know, the tutorials here, right? So it's just that it might be clumsy and might be a lot. So that's why you always have community engagement like this to guide into the right direction on how to start and where to go to, right? So app shows you all of the apps you already have. These are the apps I've built in my environment. So these are the apps Oluwatobi Yusuf, have built in my environment. These are the apps that they shared with me. It was built in my environment, but it was shared with me. So you can see that this shared with me. I'm not the owner. It is owned by Daniel. This is owned by One Bright, Ubaji, and all of that. Then all is everything, combination of mine and shared. Most times I always just come to all, right? If I want to say everything. So these are the application in my environment. Yeah. Then table database. If you want to work with database, you can come here and work with it. So I won't take you through all of this. We have Adiola coming up to take you in this. So don't miss that section. So flow, that's the power automate, want to do automation. I think we also have someone coming to automation in the next that 2 classes or so. So flow is the automation. Then just run through the rest. And I think taking time to load. I don't know what's taking time. Yeah, so these are my automations. Some automations. Okay. Right. So then solutions. So now there are times that I might build an app and connect it to a flow. And I need to send it to somebody else, maybe like Mr. Bunga. I can package it in an solution and send it to him instead of me to now start, oh, I'll pick the app, I'll pick the automation. So they're connected. When I now take it to my new environment and I start reconnecting them, it's a lot of work, right? So I can package two of them in a solution, export it and send it to Mr. Gbenga also. All right, custom connector is now you want to connect to something that your data source is something that is not common, does not exist. You now have to connect to it. Right? That's just one example. You can build an API, and this is where tech people come in. Your tech people can build an API for you. They give you the API and you wrap it, right? So this I can't see, but I don't know if you show me the details. Okay, let me see your properties. But this was done when we didn't have an API. So when ChatGPT was introduced initially, it was everything everybody shouting ChatGPT, ChatGPT. I wanted to like work with it and play around it. So I went ahead to create, I worked with the API that was provided and yeah, so I went ahead to just play with ChatGPT then. But the good thing is that ChatGPT is nice about our platform. You don't need all of this work. All right, so that's basically the interface. That's basically the interface. Okay, so I'll just go to my crates. I'll go to my blank. Mr. I can see your hand up.
I wanted to ask a question about the solution.
Okay.
Um, in the scenario where you have to, you know, export it to Mr. Benga, that like you mentioned, how do you mention export? Is it gonna be in form of managed and or unmanaged solution? What will be your
Uh,
preference?
okay. So it depends, right, on what you would want to, what Mr. Gbenga wants to use it to do. So now, if I'm working with a client, and I work with a client, I'll send him a managed solution, right? So meaning, if I work with a client, I've tested it, it's working fine. I just want you to use the application. I don't want you going and making changes to what I built for you. Right? It depends. Like I said, it depends because now I think there's some clients I think I've worked with and they manage they want. So now you can either send as managed. So for those that are wondering, which one is managed, which one is unmanaged. Now this, let me pick any of this. Let me go to all. All right. So let me go to this one solution. I can click on this and I can decide to export. right? So I want to publish all changes. I hope everything is fine inside the solution. Sha. Try to export and change. So if I want to export and send this to Mr. Gbenga, there is two options Power Platform will give me. Power Platform will ask me that, do you want to send it as managed or do you want to send it as unmanaged? Managed means, okay, but I cannot change it. Meaning, if Mr. Gbenga takes it to the environment, he cannot edit it. He cannot go and be tampering with the back end of my code. That's what managed means. Unmanaged means when I export it and send it to Mr. Gbenga, he can go back and tamper with the back end of my code. He can change what I've done. He can manipulate a lot of things. That's unmanaged. So it depends on the use case, right? So if your client is just the end user, right, he just needs the solution. It's working fine. Please just send my solution. Let me work with it. Yeah, you can send it to him as managed and you use it. If you are sent to another developer, right? Maybe you've done something and another developer wants to build on the application. You send what unmanaged because when he takes it up, he needs to edit and make changes. Right? So it depends on the use case, right? So that's just two I've given. Right? So let me see. This will take time. So let me just Mr. Winger will also create another section for solutions. But solution itself too is a whole topic on its own, right? Hope I've answered that question, Salah.
Yeah,
Solution
brilliant.
is a,
That's very
oh,
brilliant.
thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
Right. So, right. So solution just is a topic on its own. So Canvas app, right? It's simple, but it's wide. Right, there are different areas. So we'll try. I'm sure as we're talking, I'm saying, guys writing it down, right? Okay, you need to bring some for solution and all of that.
Yes, I have a question. I just
Oh,
want to comment that your sound is not so clear. Sometimes it breaks.
okay.
It's not so smooth. Yeah, I'm finding it a little difficult
Okay, I
to
also
hear you.
observed that also, but I felt maybe it was my side.
Apologies. Let me my
Maybe it's the headset.
all right. So is there
Yeah,
any
I'm going
better?
without it.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, is there any better?
No,
Not really.
it's
It's like
even
he's
lower now.
sneezing and yeah, it's not. It's not.
Apologies. Let me
Okay, it's clear now. As you just
say.
talk now, it's clear.
Okay, it's much better now.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
okay. Is it clear on
Apologies.
your end?
Apologies. Is it
Yes, it's
better
clear.
now?
Sometimes it's clear, but later it will cease, and some words that he's saying, I'm not able to hear very well.
Very well,
But it's
yeah.
not like it's not clear throughout. It's clear, then not clear, clear, then not clear. So I
Okay,
don't know how it
okay,
will continue from now
Okay.
on.
okay, fine.
All right. Apologies. I'll try to keep that
Adiola,
consistent.
any
Apologies.
question?
I have a question. I know that that when you want to export a solution, it takes time. But my question is about when it comes to with dependency, because I've once exported a solution that is unmanaged. So I wanted to import into another environment. So it was not showing kind of dependency and all of that. So I couldn't export it out. And the ones I was able to even be able to export, I couldn't import it into another environment.
Okay. So yeah, that happens a lot. And the simple solution I will also tell you to resolve that would be, I'm sure when you try to export that, you're using the default publisher, right? You're using the default publisher.
Default publisher. No, 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 I didn't. It was
Which
mine.
publisher did you
I
use?
created another publisher. I didn't use the default.
Then
Though it's
the connection reference as well. Ko. Did you create connection references?
oh no, no. Probably that was
Yeah. So yeah. So basically, what Adiola is just asking is when you export, right? And dependencies are like, oh, this application you are building, there are things that are connected to it, right? That is not inside that solution. So when that's why most times you advise that when you are building, build from solution. But like I said, we'll take solution in another class. This try to keep it simple, but the solution is a real new topic. But working with solution, you also have to be careful so that everything that you need in that solution is packaged well. And when you're sending to Mr. Gbenga or sending to maybe Adeola or anybody else, they can easily import and use it. Right. So dependency issues occurs when everything you need is not inside that solution. Right. So yeah, just for those that are wondering what solution is. Okay, so like I said, we need to take a section also on solutions. But let's just go to what we are here for today, which is app. Right? So app. So now I want to create a canvas app. So I'll go to create, and I want to create a canvas app. So I want to create from blank. So like I said, we can create from default. Maybe I'll show you how to create from default. But what I want to show you from blank is just to show you the fundamentals, the interface that it looks like, and how you can work around it. So I'm creating from blank, and I'm creating a canvas app. So this one, base blank app based on database, is a modern driven. Right. So we're not working on that for today. We're working with canvas app. So I'll go on and create. And let's just call this is staff management tool or app. Can be anything. So templates is, oh, you want it to look like a desktop. Phone is, you want it to look like a mobile app, right? So I'll just keep it as a desktop for now. Wait. So this will go on and just, show me the interface where I can build. So yeah, so this is my interface, and you can see it's blank, right? Blank. And I can go on and then start building. So let's just go on. The first thing I tell people to do is save this, right? Save and publish, right? So I'll save this. You can click on save and publish, but if I publish means I'm saving it, right? So it will first save it, and then it will now publish. It will pop up a window for you. Publish. I think that's publish that. Okay, yeah. It pop up this window for you to publish. And you can publish. So depending on whatever you would want to, depending on whatever you would want to do, right? So yeah, first things first, I like renaming this. To rename this, I can double click. Double click is the short form. That's the shortest way. I don't like work. And I'll call this my home screen. Right? So double click and I'll type my home screen. So this is my home screen. Now this is what a canvas app looks like for those that have not seen one before. This is what the canvas app looks like. I can't explain everything that this canvas app does in one section. We'll be working with the popular components, and I will explain that as you use them. So, like I said, this interface, and a lot of people will tell you that the Power Platform is around. Is it looks like a drag and drop kind of interface, and what that means is, oh, I want to build something, I can easily drag something. So, and where do I do that dragging? Let me do it from here, right? So this is the insert. So now I'm using here as the insert, and I'll be dragging something inside this place. For example, let me drag a button. Let me bring in a button. This is a button. This is what a button looks like, right? Tomorrow you might be watching another tutorial video, and that person did not use this insert. And like, is it a different power apps? No, there are different ways to do things in Power Platform. For example, I renamed this field home screen or home screen by double clicking. Somebody else can come and click on what this dot here, more options. Click on rename, and he edits it the same way I edited it. That's the way. Tomorrow, somebody else can come to this plus and click on button, right? And you're like, but Toby, click up. So why I'm showing you this is that different ways to achieve one thing. So I'm just going to be showing you the one way I'm conversant with, right? So when you go back to build or exit tutorial video, or you find out the other ways that you feel is preferable for you, just go on with that and use that. I'm just showing you what I feel is easier for me to use and I believe should be easier for you to use. So this is my tree view, right? So these are different interfaces, right? So different interface, right? This is where I came to insert. Let me go back to my tree view. My tree view, let me just click, let me open this. I think I can open that. Apologies, I didn't open this thing. I can't remember this to open it again. Um, Apologies, I can't remember how they open that thing. Oh, I know that this is tree view. Okay, okay. They don't open it again, maybe. So they don't open it again. So before they used to open this, so I see the name. So this is tree view. This is your insert. This is your data. This is your variable, your search. When you log in, it's always on your preview, right? And this is the screen. Right? Screen are like pages, what you want to work on. Right. So this is the home screen. I can bring in another one. Let me click on this. Okay. Let me apologies. Okay, let me click on this new screen and I'll bring in another blank screen. Right. So for this, let me rename it in the second way. Let me rename it and call it main screen. This main screen. All right. So let me call this main screen. Okay. So this is this. All right. So next now to do is let me go back to my home screen. I brought in two buttons. So I like using buttons a lot. Right. Maybe I'll show you one of the reasons I use buttons. Let me delete this, but it might be something that might not. I think let me just show you. Let me show you. Right. So let me insert. I'll go to insert and I'll bring in a rectangle. So now I want to build my home screen. Right. So let me delete my button, for example, and I bring in my home screen. I enlarge this. Let me enlarge this and put it here. And maybe I can give my background. So this is my background. This is my button. You can see it. This is the home screen. This is what my rectangle. So I can play around it. So each of these have their property, and that's how you build with Power Apps, Canvas app. And the good thing is because it is what you see is what you get. You can interact with it a lot. I've seen some UI guys do some amazing application with Canvas, right? Way better than the ones I've done when I see the interface. Uh, so yeah, a designer here. So this for you, right? You have a plus. So depending on whatever you would want to do. All right. So where I'm going to now is this is my rectangle, this is my screen, and their properties. Each of these snap property. Now if I click on this, and I click on this drop down, these are the properties of this. So now if I go to fill and I call this, you know what? Let me just show you how I used to work with this. Now there are two ways to play around the property. When I click on it and I click like this is the property, right? The fill and the other ones. So this also is the property, right? And this is the fill. Let me just come here and pick any of this color. Let me come here and split this color. You can see there's apply that color, right? I can come here and change that color now to this one. You see it has changed, right? So now if I come and click on this rectangle, I can now change the property of this rectangle. So like I said, there are different ways to work around this. Some people can come here and go to fill and change the property, right? If you know the value. But because me, I don't know, like I don't cram this number there, I have to browse and get an RGPA value. I prefer to come here and work around it. So this is one way to play around the property. This is another way. So for this one, let me come to the color, and I want to change the property to maybe a white, right? So you can see how it looks like. And let's assume I want to give it a border color of one, and I want to change this. I'll show you what border does. Let me give it this. Okay, so let me extend this a bit. Right. So you can see this one, this is what it does, right? And play this preview. This shows you how the app will look like when the person is interfacing with it, right? So let me click on play, and this is how it's going to look like, right? So this is just a way to build. Let me just close this. So I want to show you around properties. All right. So actually, I don't even have a design template in my head. I'm not really very, very good with design. Oh, for those that are good with design, yeah, I have a plus here. Okay, so I want to maybe just do the home page and the screen, right? Let me delete this. Let me turn this back to white or transparent. White, that was it. So first thing first, I want to bring in and type in the name. That is called label. Like I said, I'll be explaining each of these as I use them. If I click on insert, for example, you would notice popular, impute, and see, these are everything you can use in Power Apps. Everything, I repeat, everything you can use in Power Apps, right? So and there are a lot. This mixed reality, right? Mixed reality is in case you don't know, please check it out. A way of doing all this MR like video scanning and all those kind of stuff. This AI builder, all those AI detector, you want to detect and all of that, right? These charts, this is a lot, right? Power BI, you can bring a Power BI dashboard into Power Apps. This is how you do it. Right? And you can use any of these. These are shapes. You can see how plenty they are. Icons, there are also plenty like shapes too. Right? So why I'm showing you all of this is there are a lot. So you should know that to explain all of this will take time. Right? So if you go to popular are the most used one. Right? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. These are the most used one, the popular ones, the ones people use a lot of times. So and funny enough, I think what you're going to be using will be around all of this. You might just pick a few outside, but we'll be using almost all of this. Right? So I'll pick label. Now label is to display information. Right? What I want to display here now is the staff management tool. Yeah, Isabella. Sorry, Samuel.
Yeah, I would like you to like explain modern control and classic control for them in like seconds so they understand.
Okay. All right. So I'm using classic controls, right? I'm using classic controls. So classic controls are basically the old kind of controls, right? They're basically the old kind of controls. The modern control are the new ones, and modern control is not activated here, right? If you want to activate it, let me just show you how to do that. So if you open your app, this is a new app I opened. It's not activated by default, at least in my region. I don't know, in some regions it's activated by default, but in our region, EMEA is not activated by default. So to activate it, I'll go to this dot dot dot, I'll go to settings, then I'll go to I think it's updates, then I'll scroll down, this modem control. I will turn it on, right? And I'll close it. And now when I did that, if I go back to my inserts, I can now see what preview, preview. And if I go here, you can now see what preview. So let me go back to that settings. I go to update here. So you can see it's under new things, right? So and you can see it gives your app the latest control and themes as they are released. And when enabled, the modern control will appear on the modern tab in the insert pane, and the modern themes will appear on the new whatever. So basically, what this basically means is that these are new features. So now this one, right? Let me show you the button, for example. Now, this is the new button. This is the new button, the button. Let me just search for button. Right. Yeah, and this is the old button. Right. So you can see this is the new button, this is the old button. I want you to have the same look and feel like this one. Right. So first, it uses the theme, right? If you're using modern control, it uses the theme and it makes it easy to design. And when we talk about theme, this is what they mean. Sorry, when they talk about theme, this is what they mean here. This. Oh, sorry. I know my own page. This is this. What is that stuff? Apologies. Yeah, theme. Right. So if I go, like, click on this. So see, by default, now it's asking me to apply. Right? Meaning it does not even use the classic before. It does not use on the classic, but let me just apply. Right. So the modern design uses the new theme, right? So if I'm doing anything and I'm using my modern design, it changes to the new theme. But for your classic, you need to apply it. For your classic, you need to apply. Then for this modern, it uses what they call fluid, the fluid component, right? So there's a way it looks like. I don't know if you guys are seeing this. Let me see if I can use it on a dark background. Let me use it on a dark background. Right. So that's the kind of shadowing, right? That's the modern component. That's another thing about it. And any new update that is being released by Microsoft is under modern update, like this modern one, this modern one. Let me just show you another component, the date and time. Um, the date picker. This is the new one, I think. Date picker. This is the old one. Yeah, this is the old one. And let me play. This is the former one. So now if I click on this, now I want to select what today's date. Sorry, today's date. And I click on okay. So this is how it looks like. But in this model control, you can see how, you know, how I put it, more intuitive it looks like, right? And I click on this. I don't know if you notice any difference. The naming interface, you see how easy this looks like. It shows me Saturday, November 9th, 2024. It's easy to use. You can kind of, configure. Well, that's a lot of work to start configuring it. That's one. Then if I click on this and I click on 14 and I click outside, the name, it has not changed. I don't know if you notice. The date I selected now is, let me go to um 12, 12, 12. That's 12th, sorry, 12th of December. I click on this and I click out. This is still. So if you're using this old control, if I go and click on 12 of 12, I need to click on OK before it applies. But they corrected that because it was a lot of complaint. A lot of users complained about it that the date I put is not correct. That's not what I put. Right? Because a lot of time they put the date and they think it has worked and they go on to the next now and start typing. But in this one, once you just click, if I go to the next date and I click the next date, it said it has gone. I can see how intuitive it is. I can easily go to any date I want to go to. I can easily go to any year I want to go to. Right. In this case, you see how not too easy it is. Right. Not too easy. Right. So these are some of the changes, right, in the different in these two with the modern control and classic. So the new one is called modern control. The previous one is called classic control. So classic just means what is existing before. Modern control is more like, oh, the new one, the updated one. So these are just some of the changes you can see um from the top of the this. Then that theme one, I talked about theme, right? Let me try and apply theme again to this one. Let me use a different color. Yeah. So it takes that same look and all of this. For the classic, the reason you are seeing it apply to the classic was because I click on enable. That pop-up that showed. I don't know if you guys saw the pop-up. I click on enable as it's showing. On the normal ground, I will need to come and start changing the color one by one. So meaning if my app was built with blue and red, and the client is like, oh, that's not our brand color. Our brand color is blue and white, or white and brown. I need to come and start changing that color one by one. But of course, I click on enable, I was able to apply it to everything at once. If I've not clicked on enable, I won't be able to apply that to the classic. But for the modern, by default, it will apply, right? By default. Okay, so let's go back and let me delete all of this. Okay, so I just want to give this a name. Like I said, each of these have property, right? So this is the property of this. And like I said, there are two ways to change the property. You can come here and change it, click on it. So if you click on any of the here, you have to type it here, right? For example, this is the information here, and it's called what? The text. The information inside. You can say text. If I delete this T, you see it as deleted. Right? If I click on it back. And when I click on it back, you can see TXT. It has shown here. But like I said, for me, I like working with this place. You can see that the names have changed here. So I can just come here and what? I'll type staff management 2. Right? I can increase it and make it bigger. And there are a lot of things you can do. Like I said, I like working with this interface, and I'll show you another reason why. If I come to this interface now, I want it to be centered aligned. I'll now scroll down and start looking for alignment. I'll go to align. I'll now come and start typing align dot right or align dot center or align dot left. I think align dot right. So this is a lot of work for me. But if I come here, this text alignment, right? This already shows me that, oh, this left align, center align, right? I want to do what center align. I'll click on it. Right. If I want to change the font, I can go and change it from here. Well, I think I'll just keep working from here since I've shown you why I used this place. So I can easily change the font to like a 20 if that's not too big enough. I can change it to like a 30. I can make it bold. That's font width. Mind you, anything I'm doing here, you can do from here. It's just easier from here. So let me change this to a semi-bold. Can still be a bold, yeah. Then the font type. So these are applying because I enabled that modern control. Everything will start picking that modern control. Modern control have a default theme. So I will delete this, right? So that I can pick my own theme. So these are different themes you can pick in Canvas app. So let me pick this, yeah. Then I can make it bold. So this depends on you, all right? There's no hard and fast truth to how this works. It depends on you. You can keep it. Okay, so and I think I want to make my background, turn my background back to white. Yeah, I want white. Okay, let me just make it a kind of light color so that it's something like okay. Let me keep something like this, all right. Then the next thing, I just want to apply some little design with my with little experience that's come to my head on design. Right. So let me bring in a rectangle. So I'll bring in a rectangle. And the reason the rectangle is showing green is because of the theme. I come here and I click on theme. It's green. That's why if I click on this, it will change color. So for me, I like picking my own color. So I can just come here and change the color. Right. So you can just delete. I delete what is inside here. So like I said, the reason you're seeing app.theme.everything is because I enable that thing. Right. When you say I should go and enable that, all of the things having color. So you can always delete it and put your own color. So I can call this a white. Yeah. You see how this looks like. Then I can then go in and go and bring in something to sit here. So the good thing with Power Apps is that you can also let me go back to my trailer. Good thing with Power Apps, right, is you can also bring in what you call images sit on this. Right. So I want to bring in an image and that will take me to my media. I can bring in images, videos, image, a lot of things. Let me click on add image and upload. Let me go and bring in something from my laptop. I'm not sure I have a lot of things on this one. I lost a lot of my stuff some while ago. Let me see if I can get anyone I can use for my app. Okay, I think I used comment. Expand this. So I just want to bring in an image for my app. And now I have an image I kept. Yeah, let me bring in this for example. Okay. Okay, I'll click on this. Yeah. And I can bring this here. Or I can just even make my background white so that it sits well. And I can delete my image. Sorry. Yeah, I can bring this here. Let me go back to my tree view. I can delete this. So this is one way you can do this, right? So depending on whatever you want to do. So like I said, design is left to you. Right. So you can design whichever way you do want to. Well, I'll just keep this like this. All right. So I'll just adjust this up here and I'll bring in a button so I can go to my next screen. Let me go in insert and bring a button. So mind you, this button is the new control. New control. So let's increase this a bit. Just has a property. And like I said, I'm playing around it from here. So I can change the property to what? Like a next page. And I can have an icon having this dash arrow. And the arrow should come after. So you can do all of this from here. I'm just like I said, I like playing from it from here. It's easier for me. Okay, so now what I now want is that when I click on this button, I want to go to the next screen. That's my main screen. And that's where low code come in. You notice we say Power Apps is a low code, no code, meaning I can build without writing code, like modern driven app. I can build writing just small lines of code, right? Small lines of code, like your Canvas app. We're going to write very small line of code, very basic. Right? So if I click on this, I'll go to a property called on select. And by default, it's already showing. I can see it's false. And if I click on play, and I click on it, nothing will happen. But when I come back to this button, I'll just come here and I'll type what? Navigate. Right? And the good thing with Power Apps is that there's what they call intelligence. Intelligence is this. It predicts, it shows you what you want to type. And it shows that's correct. It shows you, what you want to type, and that it will allow you to know if it's correct or not. So I'll click on navigate and I'll click on the open bracket. Then I want to go to what? The main screen. That's all. I'm done. Right. So now if I go back and let me go to my main screen now and put something there. Let me copy this to see, and let me put it here. And let me type main screen here. Main screen. Okay, so let's go back. So now if I play this and I click on next, you can see it has taken me back. Now you're like, oh, Toby, I know you type navigate. That one is easy to remember, but you know that if I don't know it, what do I do? How do I get started? Those formulas are, it's not like I know it. I've not been doing anything before, right? So you don't need to worry. Just go to your tab and type Power Apps. Right? Power Apps formula reference. Just type Power Apps formula reference. The first thing that shows, like I said, the first, click on it. The first thing that shows. And that shows you the A to Z of Power Apps, every formula in Power Apps, A to Z. Right? So this is where everything is. Right? Now I type what? Navigate. Let's go to N. This navigate. Let's open this. And now this navigate, like I said, this A to Z of everything. So I've gone to N, navigate, and it will show you how to write the formula. If you scroll down, this example, this is what I type. Navigate, I put the screen. So detail is the name of the screen you want to go to, right? That's what is telling you here. Display detail screen with no transition and all of that. There are different things you can do. Like I said, if you are building Power Apps and you're going to learn a lot of things as you move forward. Like this now means, I want you to go to the next screen, but I don't want you to just go like that. I want you to have a fading kind of transition, right? So you can do that. There's a variable I want to carry from screen 1 to screen 2. Now you're beginning to do some kind of high level touch of app kind of thing. All right. So at the point of it navigating, I want you to carry a kind of variable name. Right. So you can start doing all of those things here. Right. And this is like carrying multiple variables, right? More like a a variable. And that's that. So like I said, you can always come here to learn. Yeah, I did Amala.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you for the insight. Sorry, is this what they call? Is this where they call Power FX?
Sorry, I don't take the quota. Exactly. Yes, this Power FX.
Because I was reading the Microsoft documentation yesterday about Power Apps. Then I read something about Power FX.
Yeah, exactly. So you can see it up here. This Power FX.
Sorry, Adidam, just like the way we have DAX in Power BI.
Yeah.
That's
Power
a formula
BI.
language. So the same thing,
Exactly.
that is the programming language for Power Apps. Power FX.
Power Apps.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I said, just like writing formulas. Now I just mentioned one. One is what navigate. Very, very simple. Right? Navigate the screen. That's it. So yes, this is Power FX. All of these are Power FX. They're Power FX. So just open the one you want to use. So if you are looking through them, you begin to understand them, right? So I've not used everything here. I'll be sincere with you. I've not used everything here. But the good thing is that if I want to use it tomorrow, I can just come here, look at it. Sometimes if I make mistakes with some formulas, I'm like, maybe it's a while I've used the kind of formula and I try to use it and I'm not getting it. I'll just come here, I'll use it. All right. So just let you know that it's not a bad thing to open this and use. If you check my tabs, You see power formula reference always opened in one of my tabs, right? So it's available for you to use. Okay, so let me go back to my power apps. So yeah, so we're going to what our screen, next screen. So on this one now, I just want to keep this down to this next screen. I want to show them the what's it called? On this screen, yeah, I want to show them please, I'm trying to remember the name of the staff list. Yeah, so I want to show them the staff list. Yeah. So on this screen, I want to show them the staff list. So I will come to this screen and I'll add their data. Yes, I just remembered we've not connected our data to this app. Let me just save this. It saves every 2 minutes by itself. Yeah, well, let me just save it. So now we've not added our data to this, right? So if you go to add data, we need to go and add our SharePoint. So I'll come to what SharePoint, click on SharePoint, then I'll now go to my SharePoint sites. So me, I have access to all those sites. If you don't have access to show you only the site you have access to. So if you're an HR, you only see HR site, you won't see everything. So depending on the one you have access to, I have access to everything in my environment. So I can see everything. This is I can't even remember the environment we created. Okay. Welcome to Data First 2023. All right, so let's click on Welcome to Data First 2023. And the name of the site. Do you know what? Easier way to do this. Just go to this welcome, click on this and copy it. Just go to the URL, copy the URL like this. Go back to your app. You can come here. You can come to welcome to, then look for the name of that list, which is staff something, staff, this thing. But I'm not showing you a faster way. I always like faster way. Is I'll come here, I'll paste it, and I'll click on connect. And you know what? It takes me to the staff list. I just need to click on the staff list. So that's in case you have a lot of SharePoint and want to just go directly to the list. Okay, so staff list one, and I'll click on connect. What has happened is I've connected my data source. The data source, staff point, or staff list is connected to your app. I just connected my staff list to my Canvas app. So the next now to this is what I want to bring in a table. So I'll go back to insert. I want to bring in a table. So I'll click on table. And this is my table now. I want to what show. I want to show that information in that database. So let me click on staff list, which is the information I want to show. I think Amala, your hand is still up. Oh. The new hand or it's old hand?
I will
It's
down.
old and I already.
Okay, I'm like, your hand is not pinning you. Alright, no, just joking. Okay, so this is the table. Um, let me just expand this a bit. And the good thing is what it shows us the number of rows, right? So I think this is everything. Abi. Let me just check that we're not missing anything out. Department, gender, staff ID, read. Okay, yeah, this is it. That's it. I see how simple it is. The teacher. Right. So this is showing title because remember when I created it by default the showing was title. I have to change it to first name. So I'll do the same thing here. Right. So I'll come here, I'll come to this drop down here and I'll click on title one. It's in this title, so I'll now change this word first name. First name. Yeah. And that should change it. Yeah, that's it. So you can see now what we've performed is what the read operation. I can see every information on my database. If I had any information, so let me just go back now and show you. Let me add the new information from here. Like I said, please don't do this at home. I'm not meant to add any information from here. I'm meant to do it from the app. Nobody interfaces with the database. Let me add Thinker's name. And department is I think I'm not done for now. Let me give him this ID. That's too long. And let me give him a grade 12 Aspice Akbar. Okay, I'll save this. So I'm in my app, right? So I also need to what refresh my database. Guess what? It's going to show me that update. Yeah, so you can see it. Right? You can
Maybe
see
we
it.
should do the other way around as well. From the app to
From
the
Oh yeah,
database.
yeah. So
Yeah.
for that one, we need to edit and do that. So I'll still come back. I'm coming to that. Okay, that's all. Yeah. Is that why I raised your hand? I was going to come
Oh
to you after
no,
I show
no.
you this.
There is another reason I raised my hand. That
Okay.
title is so dangerous. It
Okay.
has
Yeah,
caused
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of problems for us in my workplace.
So you can always edit it. Yeah.
It's
So that's why I had
dangerous.
to show you that part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Okay,
please.
cool.
So please and please always edit all of this information. Sometimes, a lot of people, I know some people, some of my guys, they don't even use it. They just remove it and they put their own
Yeah, we
colors.
abandon it. Yeah, because it's a
Exactly.
trust
So some
issue.
people don't use it.
We develop complicated apps.
So,
It's always
where I
so
grew up, my own place, where I, where I grew up, my own place, nothing is to waste. Don't to waste anything, even food or space. So I don't know. For me, I just need to change it. But if it's going to make things bad for you, please just remove it or don't use it. All right. So that's that on this. That is on today again. I think that's this fine. So let me just do everything on one screen so that it's easier. So that I can just demonstrate everything here. Please, you can always do design on all of these things. So this is just me showing you how the functionality. Right. I'm not really playing around this. I'm just showing you functionality. All right. So this what do I want to show you again? Okay, yeah, I want to show you the um yeah, the form. So now once we edit from the app, so that when you type in information, it shows on your database, right? Yeah, before I do that, let me just something to this background. I want to change background. That's showing my stuff. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. So something I like doing here. All right, let me just show you what I like doing here. Let me see what I wanted to do. But one thing I like doing here, that I like using button. So and why I like using button is let me insert a rectangle and let me insert a button. I'm using classic for this. Now I want to maybe make this like the background. Let's assume I want to make this the background. So I want to make this background. So I'll send this to the back. So now, if you notice something, this stuff is sitting what on the front of my page, right? So one thing with Power Apps is that the layering matters. So if I want this one to go to the back, it's just like a PowerPoint. I'll just click on this dot and I'll send it to the back. Send to the back. Dot 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 the other. So you can do it from here. You can even do it from here directly. I can come here and what send to the back. There's always two ways to do one thing on Power Apps, right? There's more than one way, right? As on Power. So that's one way to do it, right? Then let me just maybe this. Remember, let me make this like maybe let's this app.team, like I said, is because of that thing that we did that time. That's why that enabling of that stuff. So, okay. So now this, right? This is a way to do this. Right? So now sometimes you might want to maybe you might have seen some things where the edges are curvy. That does not exist with this, but it exists with button. So for button, I can just delete the name. I can make it big as well. So let me make it big also. Then let me change the color to a white. Sorry. Let me change the color to a white. Now with button, right, I can play around all of this. Like, let me make this a one. And sorry, what I'm just doing now is just design stuff. It's no, I'm not building anything yet. But what I want to show you now is there's what they call radius border, right? So if you look at this, let me make this a 50. You can see I'm able to play around the curve, the edges. Right? So in canvas, what we call it in with rectangle, you might not be able to achieve that. So I'm just showing this is like a lot of people might need to use this. I've seen these cases everyone need to use something like this. So you need to use this, right? And you want to just make something curvy. And you're like, this rectangle, I've tried to curve it, it does not have any curve functionality. So sometimes you can just use button in that place, right? Just make it bigger and all of that. The only difference is, or the only issue with button is it needs its own configuration. That's the thing on button. So you need to configure it. Like when I mean configure, let me show you the difference now. This button, then this rectangle. You know, I've changed the button to white. I've changed to white. Let me reduce this table so you understand what I'm saying. If I play this rectangle, I change it to white. Everything is fine. If I come to button, you can see. If I even click on it itself, it has another different color. For rectangle, the same thing. So that's just the thing with button. You need to start tampering with all of these things. Right, and expand this. So let's just point that out. Okay. So now next thing I want to do is I want to bring in a form. I'll bring in a form. I'll bring in a form. This is a form, a simple form, and I'll connect it to my data source. And why am I bringing in a form? I want to write information, right, from my app to my database. Right. This is my form. Okay. Oh, so I think the form is inside. The form went to enter the table. So let me do it outside. The form was on the table. Apologies. Okay. So I think something wrong on my screen now. Yeah. Okay. So it's fine now. Okay. So this is my form. Let me reduce this to 1. Okay. So now I don't want to put it by the side. Yeah. I don't want to be navigating through screens again. This. Yeah. Let me just make this bigger. This was wrong. This stuff. Okay. I don't know why it's locking here. Okay. Yeah. I think it's fine now. Okay, yeah, I just adjusting the stuff. So you can notice the same thing too. Instead of first name is having title. So similarly, just click on it. For forms now, I want to write information here and make sure I enter my database. So for form now, what I'll just do is when I click on it, I'll come to what advanced and I will unlock it. That I've unlocked it, then I'll just click on this, right? And I can go back to my display. So the property have advanced and display. Advanced are the coded part of it, right? All those on select that I was writing, all those things, you see it here. So if you notice, if I go to, for example, let me go back to my format screen and click on the label. You can see this functionality, right? But if you notice, nothing like on select, nothing like on select here. But on select is part of the property here. Right? On select is part of the property here. The other properties also that you might not see here, but is here. I'm saying you is here, but it's not here. So if you go to advanced, you see all those things. You can see on select. On select have its own field. So advanced are just all of those things that you need to write formulas for. So I want to go back to my form screen and I want to click on this and I'll just go back to my display and I'll change this, right? So this is text, right? So I'll just delete what is inside and I'll put my first name. That solves that. Okay. So now the thing with this is that any information that is here, first thing I want to do is that any information that is here, let it enter. No, let's do new first. So meaning if I enter information here, let it enter here. Let's start with that. Any information I enter here, I want it to enter here. So what I need now is what? A button, right? A button. So let me bring in a new button. Button is always used in place of action. So if you notice, anytime I use button, is because I want to do something. I want something to happen. That's when I use button. I want something to happen. I want something to happen. So I wanted, when I click on this, it should go to the next screen. That's when I brought button. Now, what I want is that when I'm done, I want to do something so that, or click on something so that every information here will enter my database. So I'll click a button and I'll bring it in. So buttons are meant for actions. Buttons are meant for actions. So like I've done in the past, I'll just delete the button here and I'll put submit. Submit. Eh, So submit. So let me click on my form. Okay, that's cool. Let me click on my form, and on my form, right? For now, I want to make this new. I'll just keep it as new. I'll come back to explain why we'll change this to new. And another thing on my form is I want it to be new, meaning I can only enter new information. I cannot edit it. New, that's one. Then two, when they submit this, I want to see whether it went, because there's sometimes that you can submit and it did not go to your database, right? So I want to submit so that it goes to my database. And I want to know if that's gone, right? I want to know. So there's a property called on success. That's another property that you will not see. Right? You will not see that property here. But when you click on advanced, you will see it here on success. So when it's on success, I want to notify myself. And this takes me back to formula reference. And I want to be notified. So as you use this, you get to understand them. So this displays informations for you. And this is how to use it. Just scroll to the down. Yeah. So it shows something like this. When you read through, you understand it. I just wanted to show me that, oh, it was successful. So I want something like this, right? So I can just copy this and come back to my app and I'll just paste it and I'll edit it. That, oh, notify me that submitted successfully, or yeah, let me just say submitted successfully. Okay, it's running up very soon. Submitted successfully and choose successful. Okay, so I'll just delete this time that's showing you. Okay, I wanted to show me that it's submitted successfully. Now let's okay. Now when it's submitted successfully, please create a new form for me. Create that new form. Make that form new again. And let's see what happens. Let me play this and let me enter the information. Let me enter La CC lie. Okay, so department, HR, there is a mail. Let me give him one staff ID like that. Sorry. Let me give him a grade 9 and I submit. Okay, so just a minute. I'm on my app, right? You might not see it real time. Let me refresh this. Just let me know if it have changed. Have I submitted submit form? Have I submitted this? Oh, sorry. So I've not done anything. So what I've done, I just remembered now. So what I've done is that if the thing should go successfully, I want my app to tell me that yes, so it has gone successfully. But I've not told it to do anything. So when I click on this submit, it will not do anything. It's still false. What I need is now what? Submit this into the database. And to submit is very, very simple. The formula is what? Submit. If I go to my Power FX and I go to my X, submit, SUP, submit form, you can see. Very, very simple too. Submit form. And like I said, you will get to understand a lot of this as you're working, as you're using it. So I want to submit. So submit form. And which form do you want to submit? I want to submit this form name, form 2. And how do you know it's form 2? It's going to select it. That it's correct. Now let's play and submit. Then I just remembered one thing. If you submit, I want it to clear everything inside here. So on success, let me go back to my success so that when it submits, it's not be showing me this information again. So I want it to reset my form for me. Yeah, form 2. When it resets, it should now go to a new form. All of this is still part of that formula reference. So what I'm just doing is that when you submit it, I want it to clear this thing, right? So that I will not submit and start deleting and writing another name. So let me now play it now. You see what I'm saying. If I click on submit, it should show me a hand submitted successfully. And can you see that's shown like on my app? Let's go and check. Is it on my database? Let me refresh. Yeah, so you can see it. I see like what has happened now. I'm able to see information on my database. I'm able to write information into my database, and you can see the number of rows 4. Okay. Now the thing is, sometimes these people can change their name and you want to change it, right? So I can click on this name and I want to make changes to this. How do I do that? I don't need to create a new form. I can still use the same form, right? So that's what I want to show you. That's how I'll end the class. So to do that, I'll come back to this form. Remember, I said we should turn it to new. New means I can only enter new information into this form, right? So now I'm going to change it to what? Edit. Meaning I can edit information, I can put new information. And what do I need to do to make it editable? Very, very simple. Just go to your advanced and go to item. This is where you connect it to the table. And how do I connect it to the table? I'll just put the table name, this table name, table one dot selected. That's all. And I've connected it. Now, the only thing I think we need to now do is if I can edit information, right? Yeah, I can edit information. So let's play this now. And I click on Oluwatobi. You can see Oluwatobi Yusuf. I can click on extension. Let's make changes to Oluwatobi Yusuf. Let me delete Yusuf now and put Bamidele, and I will submit this. You can see Bamidele. Let's go to our database. Let me just change different things. Let me make Benga female. So I'll click on Benga. Okay, sorry. So I've make it a new form. I know what's happening to it. Yeah. So if I click on this also, yeah. So let me come here. So what happens is that when I click on this, I need to also make that change. I remember I was missing out something. Let me come back to this, the table, and let me come back to the unselect. Now what I'm going to do now is when I click on any of this here, I want to edit, right? I want to edit the form. It's form now. Edit form. Yeah, edit form too. So let me play this now and click. Yeah. So let me click on here. So that's just all. Let me change to Bam Daily. Let me change something about Esther. Let me change it to Oye. Right? I'll submit. That has changed. Let me change Beggar's name to Inks. So what have I done now? I'm making changes. I'm doing a lot of things. I'm making changes. I can create new information. And now let's go to our data source and see if it has made changes on our data source. I'll just refresh. You can see Oluwatobi, Bamidele, Oye, Wigs, right? And that is how we leverage, Canvas app to get started, right? So this is just, like I said, something basic that we can work with. So this is just a use case around staff list. There are a lot of things you can use around the Power Platform. They are not restricted, right? They're not restricted to just, sorry, yeah. So you're not restricted to everything I've shown you. I'm just trying to show you the basic playing around, right, with all of these tools. So you can write information, you can edit information, you can make changes, right? And that's how you play around with it. So let me just share on my screen so that I don't need to be sharing stuff. So let me go to my slide. So all of this was let me know go to all of this. Shall I? Okay, so you're part of Visa community, I think. Sorry. Yeah, Q&A. I know a lot of people ask questions. I was going through this section, Shabo. Yeah, so
Okay.
any
Okay.
questions and stuff?
So what do you advise
Uh,
anybody that wants to start? What kind of application can they build first? That is the same that they can like a simple
so
thing they can use to start.
But anything you want to build, right? So it depends on your use case, right? I'll not say this one is a better first case. So it depends on what your company is trying to solve. I remember when I was working in an industry, and what I built for them was the what I built in that organization was the leave requests,
Leave
right? It was a
request.
leave request application. Yeah, leave requests. So meaning
Okay.
if somebody, so now say you like one guy, you go and take leave January, you take 5 days, right? So
Mm,
there isn't one executive to the I think the HR isn't one executive to manage everybody, or either executive or something. So it was a lot of work for her to start tracking. So what happens was you go and take, maybe you have 20 days, you take 5 days off, and so she will go and make that change in that Excel sheet. Open. And then first you go and do approval, right? So meaning you go and ask your line manager that confirm, you go and ask somebody, then they won't give you this paper to go and sign, right? And
mm,
those people. So when I came in, so no one, yeah, when I was there, sha, so to solve that issue, we had a leave request that was built with Power Platform, where somebody can go and make their request on the app. When you make your request on the app, it will go for approval. So it will go to your line manager, telling that, oh, Winger has raised a request to take leave so day to so day. This is the day. You should approve it or reject. If you reject it, it come back to you and let you know, oh, this was rejected. Your leave date is intact. If the line manager approve, it goes to I think divisional head or somebody. That one also approves. Then it goes to HR. If HR approves, it automatically deducts that your 5 days that you're taking from your 20 days to and to update that table.
mm,
So if you're coming April to come and take another leave day, you will see it on the app that you only have 15 days, not more 20 days. So you can come and take your 10 days or your 5 days, right? So the HR now it took off that stress of having to start writing paper and also having to start manually tracking, right? Oh, someone have taken leave, this one took leave. Oh, this one took leave. I forgot to adjust the numbers. Or this one took leave was also time. Or someone is claiming that did not take leave and HR cannot document. The application stored it when you took the approval process and everything. So they could easily track. That was one. And that solved that value. Another case was I entered an organization and it was reporting that was the issue. Needed to report, and one person would have to go and compile the report and come and present, right? So with an automation, simple automation, I think I used OneNote at the time. That solved that problem. So every day, close of business, you receive a notification. It's a link. Click on the link, you make your update to your own slide. I make my update to my own slide. The following day, because stand up is every day. When you come for stand up, everybody's slide is updated. Then one person was tasked that, oh, Benga, make sure you get the update from all the team. You now have to start calling, reaching out to this one, reaching out to that one. But right now, everybody is notified towards close of business of the day that, oh,
mm.
go and update your slide. It's not a responsibility. So, what's the first solution or tool you can use? The one that will drive the best value in your organization. Just look out for which issue are they facing, what are they having. It can be HR, the onboarding process can be a lot of work. Right, I remember onboarding at a time where I had to go through different floors um for training, and I had to be writing the same information. Oluwatobi Yusuf, the same information in 4 different departments. And I've sent departments to HR. I've written at HR's place. When you can automate this thing and everybody will have this information, all I have to do is go there and do the training, right? So it depends on what the issue in the organization is. You can always look at it and look at the platform. Oh, a power to solve this or a power to meet solve this. That would be my own answer to the question.
Thank you. Anybody, any question?
Um, I wanted to suggest in order not to get confused, I saw by the way, quality presentation done today. That's so brilliant. So what I wanted to suggest to you, in order not to get confused, because I see a little kind of confusion when you are managing between the table and the form. Uh, I wanted to suggest maybe you introduce another button that will be labeled as update button rather than having to use the submit button to do to perform two functionalities, so that business user can easily know the difference between the submit button for the initial submission of all records, and update button for edit functionality. That's what I wanted to suggest.
Oh yeah, yeah. Thanks for that feedback. Um, Ola. Yes, in a business scenario, yes, our advice. So it depends on what you're trying to do, right? But yes, I think I'll go with that suggestion to have different buttons. Like I was trying to, leverage the little time I had, and also trying to show you that you can also use one button for multiple things. You guys multiple one button for a lot of things. If you've seen a source of application where the button is, all these things amazing. So yes, I agree with that. So for simplicity and for better understanding for the users, you can have an update button and submit. Sorry, you can have a button to update if you want to make updates. You can have a button to submit for new requests, right? So that works, right? And
Exactly, because
yeah,
business
yeah, that
users
works.
are so very funny. They want to have the
Yeah,
whole
I
world
agree.
to themselves and all of that.
Yeah,
So they will be asking so many questions. Why didn't you do this? Oh, we should have it this way and stuff like that. So in order to make life simple for them, just to give that functionality to them as well, Yeah, because I've had a situation whereby I develop and have, and that business user was still telling me that, can I download? I told them this is your new word going forward, and the person was like, can I download everything in Excel? Can I still
I don't know
download
why
in
they like
Excel?
Excel. So all
Can
of
I do
them.
download in Excel? I was like,
so,
Even if you
no,
build Power BI report
I
for
was
them,
like,
they'll
no,
still ask you
I
to.
just mentioned this is your new word, so no more Excel. So it's really
yeah, yeah,
very serious in business scenario.
Even
Yeah,
if you build Power BI
yeah.
report for them, they will still
So,
ask for an Excel version.
so
and
people,
that's really
people,
sad. That's really sad.
I was I was discussing with someone yesterday. I was saying that the truth is that there's resistance to change, whether I like it or not. The business of people see once someone is used to something, even though you are building a better solution that would solve that problem, they rather will stick with that one that they are used to
Mm-hmm.
than go with this new one that is a better thing, right? Except there's now like a kind of enforcement. Maybe that other one that is in cancel, like there's no way for them to use it again. You now force them to go to the new one. There's always that this thing. So
Yeah,
I'll tell
and
someone too. So always review, like always try to have that conversation with your stakeholders and try to understand what they want. Now, in a developer perspective, is I look at it as a better way. Like if I can reduce everything to just one button, like you're not clicking every like you're not confused with one button for this, one button for that. I can have one button for new, I can have a button for updates. I can have, we didn't even do submit that I remember when we do that under class. I can have another button for submit, right? I can have three different buttons doing all of these things. And I can have one button that will do all of this. All I just need to do is just configure the button that, when the person wants to do this, do this. When the person wants to do this, do this. When the person wants to delete, do this, right? I can configure everything to one button. Now, looking at it from a developer perspective, in your own head, you're like, be it's better than one button. It's just easy interface, nice, sweet stuff. You gotta give business, and the guy like, this will, how will I delete? How will I update? How will I do this one? How will I do that one? So in some cases, it's better to just open it, differentiate everything. It's a better, in short, it's more work for you to even do it on one button. Like it's easier for you to do it on different buttons. But that easier one is what they like, right? But just give them like that, right? If that's going to be better understood for them and better leverage by them, because at the end of the day, what you're developing is not for yourself, it's for these guys to use. So always try to understand the business guys and use it. So thanks a lot for that suggestion, Ola. So my take point there, just make sure you understand or just add what Ola said. Please just make sure you interact with your stakeholders, know what they want, and then develop what they would like to see or what they would love to use.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toby. You are highly appreciated. I noticed that we had a reduction in participants, and I understand it that some of them are still very new to the whole thing. So it's normal. It is expected that people will leave at the middle because they are like, what is all these things that you are doing? Most of them are they are still Power BI Excel users. So Power Apps is still very new to them. But The good thing is that this video is being recorded. We are going to do some video editing on it and put it on our YouTube page so everybody can go there, rewatch what you did, and do practice on their own end. So thank you so much for taking your time. We spent more than 2 hours. That has been really
I
insightful.
think
If you have
we
any
still have some
questions for
hand up.
anyone, you can reach out to Mr. Toby on LinkedIn or just type
We still
Oluwatobi on
have
your screen.
some hands up. I know Adela raised the hand, Tayo raised his hand, then
Our time is
Adita
fast
is raising
spent.
their
So
hand.
can we answer your questions like this?
Do you want to end the section so that we can maybe take the section and take the questions?
Okay, can you
That is
just
not too
take
long.
the question? Let's take the question first then. I'm not tired.
Okay, thank you. So I sent in a question earlier that I didn't get to see where you rename your title, the title from that list, Abby. Yeah, form. The title on that form. I didn't get to see because I was using my phone. And also,
Okay.
while trying this thing out, I mistakenly closed my properties icon. So I don't know. I've been trying to retrieve that. I don't know how to do that.
Just click here. So you can see my screen. Just click here. So you close it like this. I know. Just click here to come back. Yeah. So I hope that answers the question. I hope I'm sharing my screen now. I think. So, yeah. So
yeah, I can see it.
The question.
Yeah. So just click on that.
Adiola, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there. Yeah, good evening. The thing is, I don't really know. Maybe I should put it. I don't know. There was somebody that mentioned something concerning Excel. Maybe like when you build a solution for a client and the client is going to request it in Excel. So I want Toby to please at least, because I know that there is a way that if even if a client or somebody requests for their data, even if you already have it as SharePoint or database, in case that person needs it in Excel, so that Toby can, shed more light on that, the way you can export it into Excel through either I've worked with SharePoint, I've worked with database, so that's what I'm talking about the through. So in case you need to do that too.
Okay, so a very simple want it in Excel is if the HR person, they still want to maybe extract it in Excel and work with it. They can come to the SharePoint and you can export here. Yeah, you can export to Excel. I hope you can see my screen. So that's one way. You can export to Excel. That's one way. All right. Then the second way is to build the functionality. That's a bit, you know, a bit complex. All right. So it's not something I'll take in this class. But the second way will be to build the functionality here such that in short they can even filter this, right? They can filter that, I just want only the mail, and they'll click on export to Excel and it export only what is filtered, right? So that's more like an high level kind of thing. So that's another way, right? But that would maybe another class. So this is the basic way you want them to have it in Excel. So those are the two ways.
Yeah, I think it can be done using Power Automate too. You can connect your Power Automate.
So funny enough, the Kini Adin, I don't know who's talking about. The functionality you are building. All right. So the functionality you are building that export to Excel on your app is actually the backend is actually Power Automate. Power Automate. When you click on it, it goes to Power Automate, pull all of those things, run it in an Excel sheet, carry it, put in the document library, then now send to the person email or send to the person's. You can even show on the screen. You can download on the person's desktop. All right. So the backend of that thing is still Power. Okay. So I think I did Amala.
Any other question, anyone? Okay, since there are no more questions, let's end the section for today. We are still going to invite Mr. Toby over. We have some other Power Platform topics now, but maybe next time we'll invite him to come and tell us more about Copilot, how you can use it to enhance your Power Platform development work. Thank you so much, Mr. Toby. Thank you. Please, everybody, please, let's say thank you to Mr. Toby. Let's say thank you. Everyone, please,
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Mr.
Let's say
Toby.
thank you.
Thanks a lot. We are
Thank you,
grateful.
Mr. Allah. Thanks for
Thank you.
a big thank you to everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you,
All right,
everyone. We
now
appreciate
do
you
have a
by for
wonderful night,
staying by.
everyone.
Thank you. See you
Yeah,
again
thank you
next
very
Thank
week
you,
much.
when
Mr.
we
Toby.
explore Power BI.